to say.
Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
And we're back.
All right.
All right, there we go.
Okay, cool. Just to continue that conversation on about, your blackness. Just tell me and tell everybody else where your basis of your thinking came from. Like, who was the first person in your life that instilled that into your life?
Well, yeah, and I also left out meant to say pride and dignity as well. I left that out, but where I got that from, man, is actually my parents, man. So growing up, that's all I ever saw was like black everything, African everything. Like my name, Jelani Hashim. My name is actually African. It's Swahili, and it means literally. My name means mighty destroyer of evil in Swahili. So my parents, although they didn't have African names, they gave me and my younger sister. Her name is Jamala Ishe. Her name means beautiful life in Swahili. So they gave us African names. So from the jump, saying our names, we were taught what we were saying and where it came from and why it was so important. They had us watch the traditional roots. We watched it every year. And my mama was actually a history teacher too. So she came from and she's from Mississippi. So she came from a whole nother background, man. And my dad was from the Midwest. He was from Milwaukee and Vietnam vet. So he saw some things and experienced some things that, had him in feeling a certain kind of way as well. I mean, to the point he actually told me, he was like, man, you're not like the Army ain't for you. Cause I used to want to go to the Army like when I was young. He's like, nah, man, so you going to school. And that was before Boys in the Hood, you know what I'm saying? And when I saw that Lawrence Fishburne character, it reminded me, like, my dad had that conversation with me, like, ain't no room for you now. That there ain't no need for you to go in that Army, man. But that's what he just schooled me on, because he went in as he left high school, so he went in because he was on the street, so he was trying to get right. So he went in, got money, taking care of everything, and that's why he did it. But my trajectory wasn't like that, so he just told me, like, yeah, that ain't your role. You don't have to do that. Yeah, you don't need any. There's no money that you need. You're good. So, and then my mom was from the point, preached, and both of them was basically like, so when I was younger, man, like all the C. Dick and Jane Run books and all those like little ABC books, man, all my characters were brown. Because my mom took a brown crayon, my dad took a brown crayon and colored them, right?
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. So I grew up like with brown characters in my book, and I never knew Santa Claus was white until like I started school, because she colored the and I never knew it until I got older, because I asked her, because she would always complain about she couldn't find like black decorations for different holidays, or books with black characters in them. That's Mama, you used to always have them back in the day. And I never realized that I used to color those books, and I went back and looked at them. Back then, I was like, man, she colored them with brown crayon. Like every page, like every character was colored. So when I saw like a white Santa Claus or heard about that, I thought they was tripping. Like I didn't know. My daddy was Santa Claus, my uncles was Santa Claus, cousins. I ain't never seen a white Santa Claus. So in my head, at like 5 years old, I had to make it right. So look, I already had to make Santa Claus right anyway, because we ain't had no chimney. We were staying in an apartment. So I had to make it right how he coming to our door. Some people door he got to come on. Some people balcony, some people chimney. So I'm making it right in my head already. So what I made up is like, I guess everybody got a Santa Claus. People got a Santa Claus. Chinese people got a Santa Claus.
Wow.
People just thought like, oh, there ain't no white Santa Claus. Like, no, I guess he goes to the white people. That's what I thought. That's exactly how I had to put that in my head, because I never saw it before. So when I saw it, I was like, man, and I just put it in my head, like, I guess they have to go to their house. So yeah, man. So that all that came like me wanting to have knowledge of myself and pride and love for myself and who I am, it came from my parents. So exactly, you could say the day I was born, July 9th, 1979, when they gave me my name. So I can say it started from there, man, because it never let up. Because every time I heard my name, I heard a call, I heard greatness, I heard like Africa, you know.
Okay.
I had no choice.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how do you carry that on? What you were taught, how do you carry on and pass that on as a father?
Well, my son is named after me, so I named him Jelani Hashim Bracy, and telling him what his name means and having him say his name and know what it means. And he's 5, but
You coloring
still,
Santa
like,
Claus too?
huh?
You coloring Santa Clauses too?
No, no. So I be Santa Claus, but I think the gig is up now because one time he saw me and he said, "Why Santa Claus got the same kind of chain Daddy got on?" I forgot the he asked mom, he said, "Why Santa Claus got the same chain Daddy got on?" So he might know now. We'll see though. But yeah, so yeah, if you say we color Santa Claus, yeah, he see me at Santa Claus every year. So that's what give him his gifts, and that's the tradition we continue. So that's what he knows. I mean, I think he's seen one in school, but they ain't the one bringing gifts to though.
Right. That ain't the one in his house.
Right, right. He know that. So yeah, I instill that within him, trying, at a young age and everything, just trying to, like the basics. He's 5, man, so he all over the place as a 5-year-old should be. But that foundation of his name, like he knows, he hears his name, knows what his name means. So all the time he's speaking that on himself. So that's a one way, man. And also, as you alluded to earlier, wrote a book called "A Daddy Is Born," man, and it's basically a story of a first time father or any father really, and how they feel about their child being born, the joys, anxiousness, the love, and the sometimes even fear, that responsibility. Because to me, I've never had anything else uh, more pressing. And when I say pressing, like I have to do in my life, like
Yeah,
go to work. Okay, you can take a day off here and there, but no,
no.
being a daddy, you be like, you gotta, yeah, you gotta do that thing out, man. Like ain't no days off because these kids ain't taking no days off. So, and it's an honor, in my opinion, to be a father, especially you choose to be a father. Well, however you got there, you a father. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But when you get that responsibility, man, and whenever you you realize what it means, man, it takes on something else. It's like a duty. Well, ain't like it is. It's a duty of I have to do this.
Right. Right.
I have to make sure you're fed, you're clothed, you're bathed, like you're safe. And that's what
Right.
I have to make sure of, man. No matter what, if it come down to it, I don't eat, I don't get clothed. Like that's how it has to be, man. And it ceases to be you. Like it's different, man. It's different from anything I've ever experienced. It's just yeah, because you can't never point at nobody else and be like, nah, man, that was your fault. Like,
Right.
nah,
Right.
brother, you can't
Yep.
never point at nobody else. Like if that's your child, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's your responsibility. So and I'm speaking from I'm speaking from I think uh, 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 an experience that's of my own. I know everybody's experience is not that, but I'm just telling you what I feel and how I feel that I know a lot of fathers like me that have that feeling for their children. Like I don't know any father that's not, proud to be one or happy they have kids. So
Right.
that's the people I'm speaking from my experience and the people that I know. So I
Right.
know I don't know everybody and nothing's 100%, but I do know the overwhelmingly uh, number of black men, and these are studies that have been done as well. And just from people I know and that know other people, like the overwhelming number of black men are involved in their children's life, no matter whether they live with them or not. like we are the race that is more likely to go to sporting events, games, birthday parties, give our child baths. Like there are studies on this done by the scholastics. So uh, yeah, the numbers bear it out. And like I said, my experiences and the people I know experience are of that. Like even if their father might not have been in their life like that, they had kids and they turned around and it wasn't like that. Like they were in their kids' life. So all
Yeah.
I know is that. So
Yeah.
that's
To
yeah.
check myself a few times though, because I know I catch myself from parenting from a place of fear, whereas everything that I'm doing for my kids comes from a place of I might not want them to experience what I experienced before, instead of a situation where I'm parenting out of love, whereas hey, I love you enough to allow you to go through some of the terrible things that I went through, or I love you enough to um, you know just tighten things up when I have to. Um, one of the biggest things in my life that I vowed that would never happen to my kids was I remember in college, I think it was coming close to my last semester, where shoot, I was on the steps crying because I ain't have like $133 to pay rent, man. So that right there was one of my drivers, and I made sure that I'd be financially straight. But now it's learning the emotional side of parenting, where I want my kids to be able to speak to me or speak clearly about how they feel emotionally, and not be so bound by which the stereotype of a black man, where you're not allowed to share those emotions. So that side of loving, and teaching my kids that loving side of parenting is was struggling has been a struggle for me. But I mean, shoot, hell, we've been overcoming it, man. We all been going through and doing new things and creating new opportunities for the kids, um, and showing them things that we didn't get the opportunity to show them. Speak to your experience now as we'll start with just the name of Black to Life, since I mean it is seems like Black Lives Matters has become a more of a PR scheme than what we've been pushing for since what I think Trayvon is when really got the popping.
Yeah.
But now that they actually hearing us, just tell people what went into actually naming the nonprofit Black to Life.
All right. So basically, so as you know, we started off with you. So you have a nonprofit that's called Dreams Expounded, to where you actually give out books in your neighborhood. What part of Alabama? Leading?
Leading Alabama, yeah.
Leading, Alabama, yeah. So you were giving out books already. You would have been doing that for years. So you asked us on a Saturday in April, 2017. You asked a couple of brothers. You was like, "Hey man, y'all want to get together, get some books out, some kids?" Like sure. So we went to a Skillman and Deal in North Dallas, man, and we set up in the Aldi's parking lot, started giving out books, and man, I was touched by that. Like I ain't never really did nothing like that before, so I was like, hey man, like why don't we do this?
I remember that look at you and Kenny face, man. Y'all was like, man, we could do this all over the place.
We could do this all over the place because we were in fraternity, but we are in fraternity. So I'm a Q. Kenny is he's the executive director of Black to Life. He is an alpha. So we were just thinking of our network of brothers. That's what I basically first thought about. Like, man, I know Q everywhere, and I was like, who wouldn't want on a Saturday, man, just to give out some books for a few hours to some kids, man? Just some free books, man, just to see these kids light up with a book. Like, who? I don't know people that don't like that. Like, yeah, I don't want to know you if you're a person that wouldn't enjoy bringing joy to a child. I don't think I would like to know you as a person, man. You can't, take the time out of your day. If you have the time, to give back. So I have those kind of friends, and man, you have those kind of friends. Kenny had those kind of friends, and then we brought on Aze Amale and MM Ifan, and those are the other two
And
founders.
Saran, I can't forget about Saran in New
And,
York.
and oh yeah, Ron Fraser, right?
Yep.
Ronald Andre Fraser, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, man. He came on too. So we all came together and we just said we was gonna start off, make this thing national. So we came up with we tried Man Up or something. That was trash. I'm gonna admit it too, because I came up with the name. Man Up. it when
Black
they was
Lives Matter.
melanated Africans nurturing uplifting progress. I mean, yeah, it was a stretch. But yeah, I was just trying to make up something because I wanted Man Up. But so I was just going through,
We did hold on, Black Minds Matter too. We did that for
Black Minds Matter, trash. I don't know if anybody else has, but it was
somebody
trash.
else has it. That's the reason.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason.
Huh?
Somebody else has it. That's part of the reason why we stopped doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was trash on our part for just putting it out there like didn't nobody else had it. So I just said, yeah, that somebody else had that. So that was a trash idea by us. So then I just wanted to keep it around black. So I just was thinking about because my reasoning behind that was because I just thought about the sermons of Malcolm and Martin, how when they describe black in the dictionary, how it's the opposite of anything good, the opposite of anything desirable. It's the lowest of the low. And I just wanted to flip that on its head and use black as an acronym. So I was just sitting back and I was just breaking it down. And I don't know, man. It just came to me. It came to me. It was like bringing love and conscious knowledge to life, like black to life. Like it just came to me.
And I ain't even gonna lie, we had a little apprehension about it. Like as a board, myself and I think one of the other board members was just like, hey man, how we gonna go to these all white boards and asking for money as black to life with an all black board? I'm not gonna lie, we did have some apprehension. I'm glad we got over it.
Yeah.
Because
my thing was like, man, how can we not?
Yeah. Because even that
oh.
apprehension speaks to, the where we are as a society. Just the fact that would even cross our minds as, hold on, wait, we can't call, our nonprofit something that we are, that even people go through that today where that name on the resume is turned away just because of that name, and that name is associated with a black person. So it's shifting. Like I said, everybody got their BLM hashtags on their press releases now. So hopefully this shift will continue, where it'll be monumental and seismic instead of what it is. But go ahead and continue on with the formation of Black to Life.
Yeah, and I just want to talk to your point right there before I go on. But and the reason where you tied into it, it was a reason for the apprehension, like you saying. I think we're all to a point culturally conditioned to think a certain way about, like, even the word black.
Right.
You don't want to. Even when at work, at our job, we don't want to appear too much of something, and it's like, how are you too much of who you are? So that's my whole, huh?
You got to tone it down. They make you tone it down as soon as you get to the office.
And I understood that because where we are in society, but I at the same time I couldn't get it. Because I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, how is too much of me like not good enough or too much? I don't understand what that meant. So I just refused that. And like
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, because my final point was, if they can look at the words bringing love and conscious knowledge to life and actually just have a problem with it, like, do we really want to fool with these kind of people?
Right.
Do we really want to fool with these kind of people? Like, and we're talking about empowering Black men to strengthen underserved neighborhoods through education and inspiration. Like, they don't want us to do that. So we don't even have to talk to them. Like that's a because if we talk to them, they gonna want to do something else. It ain't gonna be Black to Life. It's gonna be. Remember when the Five Heartbeats recorded that that album, and then they came back and said more mainstream approach. Man, they wasn't nowhere to be found. They weren't even in the background of the album, man. That's what I did not want for us to. You know what I'm saying? I wanted us to be who we was, stand on who we are, and be proud of that because, like, man, given who we are and where we came from and where we are now, man, awesome. We'd
Right.
have been left alone, man. You know what? We've been left alone. Boy, ain't no telling, man.
Right.
Ain't no
Right.
telling. But that was my formation. That was my mindset with the name and the formation, because I felt like with our books and with our message of Black men and Black people in the community building it up, you know, we're going against that mainstream thought that, you know, we're thugs, that mainstream thought that we're always, if we're congregated together, that we always got problems. Like, nah, man, you know. And as we did the research on literacy, you know, literacy is directly tied to mass incarceration, and mass incarceration is directly tied to our communities. So if we can come at one angle of mass incarceration, because they building them man, them, them tests in third and fourth grade are real, man. It's called the functional reading level. And if kids can't read by that level, they're deemed to be ready for prison, because the functional reading level is like filling out a job application, like a list, like filling out stuff, ordering from a menu, a checkbook, like
Right.
balancing the checkbook and all that, like basic, just, you know, life skills. And if they feel like if at that age and you can't read at that level, they're already preparing something for you. And the statistics show that 78% of prisoners are and that are incarcerated cannot read past the functional adult literacy, the functional reading, not adult, the functional level of a fourth grader. So I want to attack that. We wanted, and I wanted us to attack that head on, when all we got to do, or one part of it is access. A lot of people don't have access to books. So we can step in and provide access all over the nation with our coordinated book drives that we have, where we were having in the spring and we were having in the fall. And as you know, a little under 3 years, man, because we got incorporated December 2017. So a little under 3 years, we've given out over 50,000 books nationwide and internationally, in Africa, Nigeria to be specific, and in Trinidad and Tobago. So, and that leads to your connections. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had those connections. So we've all been working together using our bandwidth of the people we know. That's how Black to Life is getting around, and hopefully it'll continue to circle and we'll get a lot bigger, man, because my dream is to be all over. Like, why not? Why are there underserved neighborhoods, man? Like, that you shouldn't, your education shouldn't be based on your zip code and like how much money, you know, that your property value generates. Like, if we're in public school should be for everybody. If you're the public, like if you pay, I mean, it shouldn't be based on that, you know, and that's just another way of a systemic system, man, and a systemic, you know, racial system in this country, because most of the neighborhoods that are underserved, they look like me and you, man.
That's
They look
true.
like me. So that's why I want to focus on that. You know, you see a problem, we made the noise. Now let's try to make some change. Well, let's make some change, man. If we know that access is a problem, let's try to fill that void, and in one way or the other, man. And you know, we've and another endeavor we have that's coming up is building these little houses that have books in them. So we're gonna do little tree houses, and we're gonna start putting them, you know, in different neighborhoods. We're gonna start off one in South Dallas. So be on the lookout for that when everything is kind of open back up and we can get outside a little bit more. But when we start that, we'll just have books, man, and you know, in the neighborhoods where kids are frequent and they can just come by, pick up a book, leave a book, when they're done with it, bring it back. And it's for the community. And it just gives the community just another another level of progress, another level of power. You
Yeah.
know, that's powerful, man, to spread literacy, I believe, in our community because
Yeah.
they're
Um,
attacking deficit. So since they're attacking that deficit, I think we need to attack it on the other end.
yeah. Let's touch on mentorship. That's one of the things that we started on, but I'll have you speak on. Deborah commented and said that can we speak on mentorship and helping kids with reading and writing and communication of color. So, I mean, I'll say the attempts that we had at first to start a mentor program, um, we had some great ideas. We found out that it's stronger for us to just to partner with those that are already doing mentorship programs. So, here in Dallas, we've been working with Develop U, who has the programs, who's actually my middle son is participating in. But even, specifically reading and writing, communication and color, I know when I go to schools and read, I know some of the teachers, they constantly speak about access, to books. And then on top of that, access, um, or lack of access for those kids to have books. On top of that is these children finding characters that look like them. Like you said, your mom used to, you know, to scribble in and make sure that all your characters were brown, how that plays into the kids reading and getting a grasp and being exciting for reading. What have you seen? Because I know you've been out reading the kids in the schools, passing out books in schools, and I mean you've done it. I know in Dallas, you did it in Memphis, out in Mississippi.
Mississippi, Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some of the things that you saw out there when it came to specifically the younger kids and what their access has been and their relationship to literacy?
Well, so we're talking to the teachers and the parents. They've all were grateful to see us, doing such an endeavor, and they really were excited to see that it was Black men, and so I was excited for that because that was another, endeavor that I had planned was to shape our image and not to even change it because ain't nothing to change. We always been solid. Like Black men are solid. Like, yeah, we are. So it wasn't nothing to change, but it was to expose and to destroy the myth that, we're nothing or that we're animals and we're thugs. You know what I'm saying? Like they take the worst and the most minimal of us and they maximize it. And when I say them, I'm talking about the media. Like I'm talking about this society, this systemic society of white of the systemic system of white supremacy. Like that has and what it is basically a system that has us at the bottom. And that's what it is. So since we're at the bottom, it behooves the nation and then those that uphold it to continue that so-called dominance, that is actually uh it's falsified because it's manufactured and it's not real. It's not a real thing. That there is nothing supreme about the color of one's skin. There's nothing supreme about that, but the way the things are made here, and it was done in 1619 when the first Africans were brought here, and it was made clear what their duties were to be, and also the Native and Aboriginal people that were already here. The people, the darker people, the brown people that were already here, that lands were taken from them. So it was already set what the darker hue people of the world were to be treated like. And that's all over the world. That's why we have the African diaspora, man, because we are all of one race. We're all of one race, the human race, really, but as Africans, as Black people, we have a different experience, and that experience, like I said, connects us through the diaspora. So that's all of us. And my experience, to get back to that, my experience going to these schools or going out to these neighborhoods, like I said, is the appreciation and the need for always I have questions always of like, hey, do y'all do mentoring? Hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And I feel honored that people are asking for that, and I also feel conflicted at the same time that's needed. You know what I'm saying? But I know it is needed, and I really don't mind putting in the work. But at the same time, like you said, the need for it is so dire. You know that it's like you wish you almost wasn't needed.
Right.
You know, you wish you were needed, but you are happy to be there to provide the service. So I feel a sense of duty, like I said again, and just pride in knowing that people look at us like that. You know, look at us for that, and yeah, and that's what I see in these places, and gratitude, man. They're always happy. You know, kids, man. They do what you lead them to do, man. So if you tell them we're gonna have some books for you, like they came to get, and you pick any book you want, as many as you want, and they go for it. Like they enjoy it, man. So some are introductory, and some are avid readers. Either way it goes, they all wanted a book. So I'm just happy to be in those spaces that I'm able to provide in those areas, and the brothers and the sisters that we get to help us do these book drives. Man, I appreciate them because they show the enthusiasm and the wantingness and willingness to help out in the community. Because without them, our reach would just be very minimal in Dallas and the surrounding areas. But we're able, because of the people we know, we're able to be in Nigeria, Trinidad, Tobago. We're able to be in Miami, New York, Memphis, Holly Springs, Mississippi, Starkville, Mississippi, Chicago, LA, Louisiana. Like we're able to be all these places, Kentucky. We're able to be all these places because of the people that we know and the hearts that they have to give back to the community. So I just want to take the time out right now to thank all our ambassadors and anybody that wants to get down and actually have a book drive in your area. Let's talk, man. Hit us up on our information, blacktolife.org, or you can hit us on this post, Facebook or Instagram. Just let us know because we're looking like when everything opened up because our model is basically children. So when the children are able to congregate, that's when we'll be back in full strength. But there are other avenues that we're looking at as well. So still holler at us, man, and let us know, or ladies, and let us know if you would like to conduct a book drive in your area, man. And we'll
Yeah,
be
I
there.
always tell people about the story when we first, I think it was our first year or maybe our second year when we did the fall drive, and we were talking. My cousin put me in touch with this Muslim brother from in LA. When I just speaking with him off rip, uh,
Yeah.
in the middle of the conversation, he's asking, well, what you guys doing? How do you guys do it? How much does it cost? And I'm explaining to him, and in the middle of the conversation, I see the PayPal, transaction go through, and he already sent the money before we even done conversing.
Yeah.
So, that speaks volume. I appreciate what Deborah Harris on here saying, it's powerful for young boys and girls to see Black men reading and engaging in the schools. Yeah, it is. It is, and we appreciate it, and we don't take the opportunity of what we do lightly. Um, we understand the magnitude, just specifically like some of the things that me and you do, how we reached out to and had the opportunity to meet with Reading Partners of America. I
Yeah.
hope I'm saying it right, to become tutors, reading tutors. Now they spoke about their lack of mentors and how these young children seeing these Black faces come in to help them learn how to read. I know when I go in to read, and as soon as I step in the room, these kids, they eyes they open wide up, man. They excited, and it's always, what do you do and how are you able to get out here, and why are you here, and you giving us books. Like I can, like you said, that you ask them, you tell them, hey, you can have any book on this table, and they like, what?
Is it free? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's free. They were like, any, I'm like, man, go ahead, man. Yes,
Right.
go ahead,
But
cause
it's
go
powerful,
ahead.
man. It's powerful. We've done the research. We've seen the numbers. of just how the impact of a book in that child's home can change their trajectory. And so, like you said, 50,000, over 50,000 passed out so far, man. And I'm grateful to be a part of it under your leadership and excited to see where things continue to go. Let's see how long we've been doing it. We don't want to keep people too long. We 35 minutes. We got time. I got time. You got time? You got somewhere to go?
I don't want to go. COVID's
Okay.
flying, man. I don't want to go.
All right, cool. Well, let's just talk about you and where you plan on taking and you know, I know, but what's the goals? What do you see Black to Life doing in the next year or two post COVID? I'll say post COVID, but even even within COVID, what do you see Black to Life either expanding to or re-emphasizing? I think we just finished the 529 plans, right? So what's next for Black to Life?
So we will continue our charitable acts of books, really. So we got an initiative we're trying right now, where we're executing right now with our ambassadors, where we're gonna look for Black-owned businesses, man. We want to patronize Black-owned businesses that have kids that frequent them, maybe like barbershops, hair salons, gyms, whatever's open that kids are gonna be around, man. And we know, like, while people may not be congregating in big numbers, we can drop off books and just get them shipped to these businesses. And anytime a kid comes in, say it's a barber, they can read a book while they wait, or read a book while they're getting a haircut, or get a book on the way out, however you want to give them away. But we can offer those to businesses that will have kids in them from time to time. And also, coming up in the fall for teachers, if school starts back, we'll be working on those teacher grants, which are $100 grants to 15 teachers, right?
Yeah, I think we're doing 15 again. We might be doing more. I got to talk to AZ and them about it, but
okay.
Right
So
now,
15 to 20, something like that. All right. So 15 teachers get $100, and that's for any supplies you have to buy for your kids. Because I used to be a teacher, and I know you can give out the supply list on the orientation and everything, and all that. The supply list be online, be at the store, whatever it is. And there's going to be some children that are going to come unprepared, and that's what kids do. So to ease your burden as a teacher, because I know a lot of teachers, most teachers go in their pockets, man, and get these kids supplies. So we want to ease that little burden and give you $100 to that, because that's a real expense, and we know the school does not reimburse you. So we just want to, lighten your pockets a little bit that we can for the $100, and we'll be having that. That's coming out a little later in the summer. We also be having our scholarships for kids going to college or trade schools. Trade schools.
Yes, trade schools.
Okay. 4 scholarships, right?
Four.
4 $500 scholarships for kids going to college, trade school. We'll get those applications out as well. And for the future, as you was asking about Black to Life, I want Black to Life to be, like I said earlier, in every city, USA. Like any city that's in need of books or in need of some inspiration, some leadership, like, because what we do more than just pass out books, I think. I think when we ingratiate ourselves in the community, we talk to people, we listen to people, some people I talk to you for, 20, 30 minutes. Right. They want to talk about anything, like their passions and how they feel, and how great they think everything is going with what you're doing, and people just want to talk. So yeah, you have to be personable and be empathetic. Also, with you just gotta be a person, man. Basically, man. Just be a human being. You know, that's I don't know another way. Yeah, just be human, man. Just lighten up. And we got good people, enough good people that do that, and we're looking for more, because I want Black to Life's reach to be indefinite, man. I want our reach. I want us to be known for the people and the organization that provides literacy and books to kids. That's what I want them to know. If I want them to know us for being strong, and for being diligent in what we do, man, and being respectful. That's what I want. I want them to know. But most importantly, I want to get these books in these kids' hands, man, because I really believe that increasing this literacy, man, don't change the game. I really believe increasing our literacy levels and our love for literacy don't change the game. You know, people want to reform the prison system. I don't want us to go.
Right.
So stop what gets us there, or impede it, throw it off, put a little, a little kink in the machine. Like, let's do that, and let's mess the machine up, man.
Right.
Yeah, because people say the machine's broken, but the machine, I like to think, is working exactly the way it was designed.
Work they intended to. It's working exactly how they intended to. From the police to the jails to the money when it comes to mortgages and the house rates. This is the way they intended it for it to be. Like, we always talk about ways to get out of this, man. And the biggest thing is people's net worth. I constantly remind people that the average median net worth of a Black family is like 5,000, the amount of a Kia. And in some places, individually it's negative. I think in Boston it's negative. So, people love to talk about how the South is so bad, but we got places up north. I mean, y'all see what's going on in Buffalo right now with the way that police department has been acting.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Well, just since we got on that, man, the whole, the entire culture, of the police is a problem. And when I say culture, I mean the way things are done, not the way they intended, the way they're actually done. And there's too many examples, too much history to continue to say bad apples, a few bad apples. No, it's a corrupt system that operates this way, and it just, and the marches and the protests to me were not. It was more than George Floyd. It was that 400 plus.
Yeah, it's more than just what happened in the last month.
It was the plus.
Right.
Now you gotta think about the tragedy that. Okay, this is traumatic to me, man. We saw a brother running for his life, fighting for his life, lose his life. Then we heard about Miss Breonna Taylor, and then we saw Mr. Floyd. That's not natural to continue to see that. So that's gonna burn the psyche a certain kind of way, man. And like I said, these protests are about more than just, this month, this year, these 20 years. It's about 400 and that plus that keeps the addition of the plus, and that's what it is. And like I said, it's the culture that's operating under, it's culturally conditioned. And until we fix or break that culture, then these people were marching for never to be another George Floyd, never to be another Sandra Bland, never to be another Breonna Taylor. Like, that's what they're marching for. But sadly, if the culture is not changed, if the culture is not changed, it's gonna be another one. It's gonna be another one. And
yeah, that's
you can't reform it. It doesn't need to be reformed. Like, there was nothing pristine about it at first. The history of it is not, when you reform, you gotta come back to something.
This is what I tell people all the time. I said, if you have to teach somebody or train somebody to see me as a human being, then I don't want that person policing me. Like, I don't see how, granted, everybody's throwing money wherever they throw money, but if you gotta have, teachers and to come in and tell these people, hey, when you see a Black man treat them like the white man, like that. We all got that little meme that's going around about that Django scene when Django they get to that first plantation and
whoop dude ass.
no, well yeah, but before that, when the slave owner is telling the young lady, he's like, don't treat him like the other ones, and she like, hold on, what you mean? She's like, he ain't like the rest of y'all. He free. And she like, I can't get it. And that's in my mind, that's like, okay, well, that's what we doing with cops. So you say you got this black man as you meet, and you got a white man that you meet, treat the black man like you treat the white man. And to some of them, it seems like they don't understand that. We see video after video on almost a daily basis now where it seems like the black trauma is just is close to porn for these people, man. Like every sad story that you hear is always magnified. The hurdles, I mean, shoot, you see it on draft day. On draft day, every story is about how, oh, such and such overcame this, and his mama was a crackhead, and his daddy wasn't around, and like that. That's not, and I think somebody had enough of it. I think it was last NBA draft. I think Stephen A said something like, man, it's a lot of these cats is coming out with both of their parents or their fathers in their lives. I know the Bennetts, they talk about that all the time. Like they daddy was around. And those stories need to be amplified much
as well
than this other, like I said, this black trauma is force fed down our throat through media, and how those are always the stories that news want to push, or how, you know, we see on the on TV or in movies. You know, you can't get that black joy enough. So
and that's why that's why I think, and that's another reason I wrote my book, man, because I want to control our narrative.
Right.
A lot of people want to say change the narrative, and I used to say that too. Change the narrative. The narrative was never bad. Like, just because somebody else wrote it, don't mean it was true. So I'm going to expose and push and control my narrative about us, because why wouldn't I? Like, I know what it is. I've been around. So why would I? Well, yeah, I think I got a little bit more than a lot more experience than the mainstream media would ever have on what it is to be who I am. You know, I can explain it a whole lot better. So when I put it together, A Daddy Is Born, and I told about the honor, the joy, the love that a man has as being a father, and it's coming from a black perspective. You know, you don't see that. You don't see that portrayed. You don't see that amplified. You see that if you at the crib with your dad. You see that in the neighborhoods with the daddies in the neighborhood. You see that then. But like I said, the mainstream does not magnify that. So I did that just to make, and because I was trying to find, you know, books about fatherhood to read to my son and everything. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna write one. Like, this is how I feel, this is what I would say. So I said those things, and that's what it is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your hopes, your dreams, all that, man. You always want my child to be like way out here, way above me, man. That's what I'm a father to do. Like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to make sure he is way better and got it a whole lot better than me. When I say got it a whole lot better, I mean like mentally, emotionally, like on a spiritual level, like everything. Like, he needs to be, you know, because I was brought up in trauma. Thinking about the education system, with religion, you know, everything. I was brought up in trauma. Like, I ain't saying I was beat or nothing like that, but the emotional and mental trauma of not knowing the truth. Because when you find out, that's a mind-blowing thing, man. It's like, what?
Right.
And you know, I was grateful that my mama was able to buffer it a little bit more, because she was a history teacher and she could teach me about things like that. And you know, she told me about being in Alcorn State and they protesting the Vietnam War, and National Guard coming down there and busting them in the heads. You know, that don't make national news or like that's not a meme that goes around, but that happened when my mom was in school. So you
Right.
know, I know about those stories and I know about stuff like that that goes untold. I mean, just being from Mississippi, man, and you from Alabama.
Yeah, I grew up in Alabama. I know
I
that.
think it's a very unique experience, man. Especially if you travel the whole entire state of
Yeah.
Mississippi. I know it's
Well, I mean,
very.
we talk about. I think they were talking about what those sundown times where you know not to go through.
That shit's real.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you was talking when you was driving the other day, like other week.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, keep
It
rolling,
goes
man.
straight
That shit's
through.
real.
It goes straight through. Don't stop. But
Yeah.
um, like I think there was a conversation going on with people um from where I grew up in Alabama. But like surprisingly enough, like my first interaction with racism was while I was in Buffalo. I remember we went to private school started going around third grade. And so we would go grab pizza after, school sometimes. A couple of us, I think it was like four of us, one white dude, one boy Pat. And I mean, we kids, we walking to go get pizza. And this white man pulls up, stops us. We walking through Pat's neighborhood. He's like, you okay? And we all looking around like, yo, what you mean? Yeah, we good. He didn't talk. He's like, no, I'm not talking. I'm talking. He points to Pat. He like, yo, are you okay? And Pat's like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm with my and like you don't think about it at that age, but it's a shocker. Like it's like, yo, why would you fear for him walking with us? Like all of us, like even beyond we're all dressed in private school clothes. So we got white shirts, ties on, and stuff. Like it's just one of those things, man. That just real eye opening. That as a 8 or 9 year old, you shocked at the way people view things. And I mean, sadly enough, like you said, moving to Alabama, hearing some of the things that we heard playing sports. I think that's where I got it most. Like I don't think it wasn't too much at our school. I think because of the balance at my school, we didn't get it too much there. But definitely when we went on the road, like you hear some things out there balling, man. Like basketball is different than football.
Yeah. Basketball, you right there. You
Yeah.
sitting on the bench, you like, man, what?
Yeah. I remember playing some games and coach like, hey, we ain't shaking hands afterwards. We getting up out of here. Like go to the locker room. Let's get up out of here. So yeah, that's some of the experiences that you go through, man. And I think everybody's had those interactions with the police where you like even now it's worse even now just after, like you said, the trauma that you see on damn near a daily basis, where our interactions with the police, while it should be a mild one, ends up turning deadly. And you just fear for people like us who have to go through that, even if it's just, like you said, people used to want to say, oh, well, all you got to do is comply. That little bubble, as we've been telling people for the longest, that's not true. That's not how that goes. Like, shoot, Brianna was sleeping. She was sleeping in her own home. And that happened, man. So and the other young lady out here, what was it? It's out here in Arlington, I think last year.
Miss Jefferson, Tatiana Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In her own home.
with her nephew.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's crazy that our interactions with the people who are supposed to serve and protect us, they don't they don't end so well. Hey there. So yeah, let me see. I want to make sure that I get everybody on the live and respond to any of those questions because I think we're pushing the hour. So yeah, I'm gonna end up. I think you answered your stable question, what it is mean to be Black. But you got anything else that you want to touch on before we get up out of here, man?
Well, yeah, man. Just that, like you spoke one time, earlier last month. Well, it wasn't early, but it was a couple weeks back about, these protests and everybody that's voicing their disapproval of the American justice system, because the American justice system has proven to be criminal, and that's why people are upset. I just want to urge people that, and we see it every day, just being on the book on Instagram. Like, I know a lot of people, and I know they float a lot of information about all the business owners that lost their life savings and lost their business, and they're very upset, and rightfully so, and our heart goes out to them, and that shouldn't have happened. But also, there is an element of the population that happened to as well. Their business was trashed and they lost it, and they actually took it in stride. So, like I said, that's not maximized, and it seems just like it's anarchy everywhere. But this was a response to violence, and and a lot of people have a problem with what these youngsters are doing, and it's not all of them. It's a lot of these imposters out here, trying to set us up too. But for those that are really upset and really hurt, man, like they don't know what to say or what to do. We just saw two men die in front of our eyes, man, and nothing was done. We feel like nothing was done, and we feel like it's a continuation of a problem. So this pain that's being released is a response to the violent culture that has been exacted upon us since the Europeans have come here. Huh?
100 plus years.
Yes, the 400, the plus part. That's what they got to understand. And I'm only talking in this country. I'm not talking about the Caribbean. I'm not talking about Latin America. I'm not talking about South. I'm not talking about Australia. I'm just talking about this country.
Right.
Like, this country been 400 plus. Yeah, they've been started this, man, way before they colonized this country. So yeah, and we're gonna have to get to that later. But as far as this country, man, I just want to say that as Black to Life as an organization, we do stand with those that are protests, that have a voice out there. We want to know that we do support you, and we just want you to be safe, man, and be smart. But we do understand, because we mad as hell too, man. But you have to be safe. You have to be smart out there, and just know that you have, once you go one way, you have become a target. You are already a target. Now you're even a bigger target. So be safe out there, man, and think about your fellow man too, and don't put them at risk as well. Because I know we mad as hell, man. I know we are. But we got to come together and get together, us included, and let's do something that's really gonna make some change out here, man.
Right.
Really, and we got the power to do it. We got the power to do it. We got the momentum to do it. I don't think we need to stay out these streets now. I'm not gonna say that. I do believe in these protests. I do believe in disruption, because normal wasn't working. So disruption is welcome. I think this whole thing needs to be flipped on its head, man, because these speeches and these kumbaya little moments, and no, it needs to stop. And yeah, we're not fighting for George Floyd, God rest his soul. We're fighting in the system of white supremacy. And to that end, we do not need to be off these streets.
Right. That is completely true. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. I mean, you can't not or cannot, let's just be, but you can't look at what's going on and see that what's transpired over the past few weeks, these marches, the protests aren't giving people a pause and making them think about how they address and speak to us about the pain that we feel. for so long it's been dismissed. That's been the biggest thing. It's like, oh, it's not even happening, regardless of what we've told them about our real life experiences or even what they've seen with their own eyes. For whatever reason, these past few weeks, they see it and they get it, they grasp it. So hopefully, like I said, this movement will be sustained and we can have actual change, more than just a symbolic. Yes, we're pulling down, statues. People are changing names of slave owners that have remained on buildings for decades. Yes, all those symbolic changes are nice, but if the system, like you said, isn't disrupted, from the inside and outside, like you said, if we can get these books in these kids' hands and stop them from being even being in positions or being in situations where they have the dangerous interactions with the police, being in a position where they feel hopeless and they have to do something illegal to make some money or to provide for their families, so we can give these kids hope. That's how you affect change. So we got to do it, like you said, we do it on our end, like we keep doing, keep pushing it, and hopefully they keep hearing us on their end, and we get these corporations to promote us, put us on boards, put us in these bank boardrooms where the money is transpired and delved up to people. Change these algorithms, because people want to talk about these new companies. Oh, they're using algorithms. It's not somebody looking over a bank loan now. It's a computer. But I mean, shoot, the numbers are there. See, there's reports and there's news articles that's talking about, hey, racism is programmed into the algorithms. We see it when you post. We're gonna keep doing it, Deborah. We're gonna keep pushing positive images and changing the narrative. And like Jelani said, we shedding a light to the narrative. So but overall, we just want to thank y'all for joining us. We're gonna do this again next week. Jelani's gonna be back in his chair, and we're gonna have some of the other board members, whereas we can have just a nice straight up round table with the board, and y'all can hear exactly how some of our stories and some of how we feel about what's going on and what we feel that we can do to change it. So hopefully everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you.
No problem, man. No problem.
Yeah, man. I do have one more thing to say, man. I got one more thing to say. Just shout out to all our supporters, man. Appreciate it. And hey, man, most of our supporters are Black women.
Yes.
So shout out to y'all, man. And I just want to lift y'all up because you are the most disrespected in our society, and that needs to stop too. So as brothers, we need to do a better job at pushing that and vehemently defending you in public spaces, public places, online, anywhere. Like if a Black woman speaks, man, brothers, listen.
Right.
Like for real, man, because they got something to say. So that's all I want to say on that, man. Thank you, Black women. Like I said, they are, 60% of our followers and our supporters, our likes, our clicks, our shares.
Our donation.
Thank y'all.
Yes.
The mother of the world, the creator of it all. Appreciate you. All right, brother.
All right, man.
I'll let y'all next week. Peace.